Hey everybody. I was going to say it's good to be back, but that would imply that I've been away for quite a while, and really it's only been about 2 or 3 weeks. But I did want to get out a video as soon as I could. I've been a bit busy with stuff, and so I've not been able to get out as many videos as I wanted to do, and I've also not been able to do as much work as I wanted to do into talking about DSP and Liana and Kat. So this video is instead going to be a look at DSP and narcissism. Again, we're going to do a quiz. I'm going to use clips of DSP wherever I can to support my arguments, and I'm also going to explain my rationale behind it, and I invite you all to play along, because I'm not really diagnosing him. I'm just going to fill out the first result for Narcissist Personality Quiz on Google as DSP. But I did want to mention briefly, because I know there's been a lot of talk about Phil's beard, and so I thought, you know what, while I'm not doing anything, I'll just not shave, so I could grow out a bit of a beard and show people what, grey hair in a beard actually looks like. It's not patchy at all. I've not fucked up while shaving. This is definitely grey hair, all of it, in this line, right down here. It's definitely grey hair. I've not actually just gone with my electric razor and messed up. It's grey hair in a beard. It's not patchy. It's not grey hair like these are actually grey hairs. It's a patch. He fucked up while shaving. Let's be honest. He fucked up while shaving. Anyway, on with the quiz. Okay, so before we go any further, I have to point out, for actual ethical obligation reasons, this is not a medical diagnosis in any way, shape or form. I am not officially diagnosing Phil as a narcissist. This is not a test to really diagnose someone as a narcissist with. What this is just, it's a measurement of traits that are common in narcissists and people with narcissistic personality disorder. It's not a diagnosis, it's just an indication. And if you have any of these traits, that doesn't necessarily mean you are a narcissist, because like all things, traits exist on a spectrum of manifestation behaviorally. So you might be a little show-offy, or you might like being the center of attention. It doesn't make you a narcissist. So yeah, this is not a diagnosis of Phil as a narcissist. This is just me going through this test, which, again, I'm using test in the loosest sense of the word possible. This test which measures the occurrence of certain traits, and I am comparing those traits to times that Phil has said something or done something that, to me, indicates that trait. That's all I'm doing. I'm just using Phil to fill in this. Fill in this test. And I am going to explain my reasoning why as we go along, and just chat a bit of shit as we do, because we try to make it fun and entertaining, at least as fun or as entertaining as you can make filling in a form online. So anyway, let's go. Okay, so question 1. Which statement best matches you? Actually, you should probably know the format of the quiz. You're given 2 options, and then you just pick which one you feel is most relevant to you. Obviously, I'm not doing it as me. I'm doing it as Phil. I'm not Phil, so I can't know for sure which ones he would pick. But let's be honest, it's probably pretty... What? Are you coming to join us? Are you annoyed because my laptop's in the way? Oh, hello. Swear to God, if you touch something and it stops the recording, I'm going to be so mad. Right, let's get on with the quiz. When you settle down, come on, settle down. Let's see. Okay, so question 1. I have a natural talent for influencing people, or I am not good at influencing people. Now, I think Phil would go for I have a natural talent for influencing people.
You liar, you. I'm good at lying.
I think he might put on see, the problem here is narcissists don't like doing questionnaires like this. Narcissists don't like seeking therapy. Narcissists don't like admitting they have a problem, because they don't really like admitting that there's anything wrong with them. They don't like admitting that they have a problem. They can't really be insightful or introspective in that to that extent. So any sort of like attempt at working out, would he put on an air of humility? Would he try to be humble enough to sort of like say, oh no, well I don't think I'm any good at influencing people, when really we know that even though to us his methods may not be subtle enough, or they might be too blatant for most of us to think who would buy that, it's still enough to earn him as much as it does. It might only be through one or two whales, but it's still worked to that. If you can classify it like that, it's worked. So I don't know if it's natural or not, but I'm going to go with I have a natural talent. Okay, so modesty doesn't become me, or I am essentially a modest person. Again, this is one of those where Phil would go, I am essentially a modest person, but we all know.
And so what ended up happening, I got 4th place. The top 3 places were all Japanese players. So I ended up basically being the highest ranking American for Super Turbo that year.
Mm-hmm. So modesty doesn't become me. I would do almost anything on a dare, or I tend to be a fairly cautious person. Phil's very cautious. I don't know if, like, in his younger drunken days, he might have been a bit more open to suggestion and a bit more likely to do something on a dare. But nowadays, I think he's very cautious. He's unwilling to try new things.
Stone Cold Steve Burnell just cheered. He said, "Give me a hell yeah if you're going to get a Steve Austin vest to wear on stream." No, I'm not going to do that. Can we zoom in and do a dab to laugh at the haters that are upset that I didn't end the streak tonight? No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to gloat. Well, now CM Fool to me a $3 tip and says, what about a Battletoads marathon with Mega Man rules? If I die, go back to the first game opening cutscene. Let me think about that. No, we're not doing that. I guess I got to set up my camera again because I don't have it set up to do the nose anymore. No, we're definitely not going to do that. So that is $6 in tips so far. And let's see here. What was I going to do? Oh. Hold on a second. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that kind of run in Battletoads. Sorry. Okay, let's continue.
So, yeah. You're right there. You notice that my strap to my wrists, leather. So yeah, Phil is fairly cautious. When people compliment me, I sometimes get embarrassed, or I know that I am good because everybody keeps telling me so.
I've been a fan since 2008. He's been a fan for 8 years. I've been a fan since Heavy Rain. I've been a fan of you since your Injustice video versus Deadshot. I've been a fan for a while. Phil, I've been a fan since your Bloodborne playthrough a few years ago. Hello, he says, I've been a fan since 2011. Welcome. I've been a fan since Mercenaries 2. Wow. Phil, I've been a fan of yours since 2011. I've been a fan since my old YouTube days. I've been a fan for multiple years. I've been a fan since Hurricane Katrina. I've been a fan for years. Maybe a mod. Love you, and I've been a fan since Mercenaries 2. I've been a fan for a long time. And he says, I've been a fan for 10 years. I met you in June. I've been a fan since. I've been a fan since year one. Have fun. It says, I've always been a fan of yours since your original YouTube channel when you played Batman Arkham Asylum. He says, I've been a fan since 2009-2010. It says, I've been a fan of you for 6 years when you're doing YouTube videos. I love your gameplay. I've been a fan for many years. Keep up the great gaming. Hey, Phil, I've been a fan since Uncharted 1. It says, I've been a fan since your playthrough of the first Medal of Honor. I said, I've been a fan of your streams for a while. So I never mentioned this. I've been a fan since 2009. My first playthrough I watched yours was Infamous. I've been a fan since your first Silent Hill 1 playthrough. Keep your head up. I've been a fan of yours since 2008. You're awesome. Enjoy. It's been a fan since the Naughty Nightwear. Oh, wow. What's up? I've been a fan since you did your Infamous playthrough in 2009. In Italy, we say many enemies, lots of honor. Been a fan of yours for years. Keep rocking. Hey, Phil, I've been a fan of yours for years, but I can't catch your streams because of my schedule. I said, keep up the good stream. I've been a fan since 2008. And they said the following. I've been a fan since 2010. Phil, I've been following you since Metroid Other M way back in 2010. And you've been part of my life over the last 10 years. I've been a fan of yours through the highs and lows, all the controversies and drama. It says, been a fan for a while, haven't followed until recently. It says, first time tip, and been a fan since Resident Evil 5 Lost in Nightmares.
They may not be entirely honest when they tell you, but as far as a narcissist like Phil is concerned, They're fucking telling him, and they're telling him what he wants to hear. You know, they're telling him what his ego already believes, but he believes it. I know that I am good. You know, he believes it. So, Next question. The thought of ruling the world frightens the hell out of me, or if I rule the world, it would be a better place.
That's right. This is the United States of Phil. I am the supreme being. I make the rules, and what I say goes. This is not a place for you to stand on your soapbox and complain about censorship and freedom of speech, because the bottom line is you don't have freedom of speech. This is my land.
We may disagree with what we consider better, but let's be honest, we all know Phil thinks he should rule the world. If I rule the world, it would be a better place. I can usually talk my way out of anything, or I try to accept the consequences of my behaviour. If you accepted the consequences of your behaviour, you wouldn't beg bankruptcy. You'd work out a payment plan for your 13 credit cards. Phil tries to talk his way out. Whether he can or not, again, is academic. Phil would probably believe that he can. You know, actually, no, Phil, again, putting on an air of humbleness, Phil would probably say that he tries to accept the consequences of his behaviour, when there's a long history of evidence to suggest the opposite. So
I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct.
Yeah. Which statement best matches you? I prefer to blend in with the crowd, or I like to be the centre of attention.
Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about. No one's paying any attention to me or the game, so I'm just not going to talk to people who aren't talking about what I'm talking about. Unless you know, have a question or something, but no one's talking to me at all. But people talk about, don't ban this person, unban this person. Like, what are you talking about, man? Nothing to do with this fucking stream. I'm not falling asleep. I'm listening to the story, guys. You guys aren't talking to me, so I'm listening to the story. I'm paying attention. People are like, oh, Phil's falling asleep. He's not talking to us. Like, no one's talking to me. No one's tagging me in the chat. So I'm just paying attention to the story of the characters. That's all. What the hell are you guys talking about? El Despacito guy? What on earth are you guys speaking of? What does that have to do with the stream? No one's talking to me. Feel free to talk to me, guys. Right now, absolutely no one's talking to me. So, it would be nice to have a conversation if everyone's ignoring me. Am I on YouTube Road right now? Well, no one's talking to me, so yeah, I'm focusing on the game. There's people who are memeing and doing stupid shit in the chat that has nothing to do with the game and trying to, distract me, which I'm not going to allow. And if anyone wanted to talk about the game, I'd be all ears, but no one's doing that, so yeah, you're right. I'm just kind of playing the game.
I like to be the centre of attention. Which statement best matches you? I will be a success, or I am not too concerned about success. Guys, if we could just get past this next hurdle, I will be a success. Guys, if you just buy me a new Xbox, I will be a success. Guys, if you pay for Game Pass, I will be a success. Guys, if we can just pay this next bill, I will be a success. If we can just do this, I will be a success. If we could just do that, I will be a success. It's I will be a success, always. I am no better or worse than most people, or I think I am a special person. Again, Phil putting on an air of humility. He suggests that he is, in fact, he's made it a point of pride, almost ironically. He's proud of how the average gamer he is, how much of just another gamer he is.
And so when you ask someone like me, the average Joe, I always say I consider myself the average gamer. I'm the representation of the average gamer. I told you guys this. I always felt that I was someone who was the same as everybody else. I'm just a Joe average gamer. I'm not special. I'm not better than you. I feel that we should all get games on the same day. No one should get advanced copies of games.
He doesn't think. Actually, no, he doesn't want you to think he's special. He thinks he's special. He's got a legacy. He has a 13-year-long history on YouTube. He was one of the first. He invented Let's Plays. I don't know where that came from then. I was going a bit black metal there. Shout out Necro Swanson. Black metal friend. Phil would probably say that I am a humble person. I do not think I'm special. I'm just an average gamer like you. I'm just an ordinary guy who likes to play games. But when you watch his chat, when you watch a few pre-streams, and you don't have to watch many for this illusion to fall apart in front of your eyes, Phil thinks he is a special person. I am not sure if I would make a good leader, or I see myself as a good leader.
Let's make this very abundantly clear, just like I did the day when I started streaming on Twitch in 2013. This stream is the United States of Phil. This is my stream, not yours, not the viewers. It's mine. And therefore, you know, anything that happens on it, within reason, you know, is going to be held against me, not against you, against me. So if I see nasty stuff and stupid stuff that has nothing to do with anything going on in the chat, I am going to lay down the law. It's that simple. All right?
He does. Let's be honest. Which statement best matches you? I am assertive, or I wish I were more assertive. Phil is definitely assertive. Phil would not disagree with that because, you know, the moment chat gets out of control, he's there with the pay attention to me. Right, I'm just going to ban this idiot.
Well, I said no copy pasta. This dumb motherfucker does a copy pasta, and now this dumb motherfucker's banned, and I don't care. I only have so much patience for these people. You know, they want to be stupid during my stream. Okay.
The moment you speak out against him, you get slapped back down. That's assertive. Which statement best matches you? I like to have authority over other people, or I don't mind following orders. Which clip should I use? See, this is the thing now. I get a bit... There's a lot of choice here now. And then about another 10 or 15 questions, I'm going to be like, fuck, which one should I use now? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Why am I worried about that? I'm not going to run out of material for this, am I?
What is considered a troll cheer tip? Whatever I deem one to be. If it's something negative, if it's something nasty about someone, if it's a reference to another streamer in a negative light, if it's insulting, you know, if it's a joke, tongue-in-cheek, and it's not insulting, I'm okay with it, but sometimes people take shit too far, man. So it's all subjective. My stream, my rules. That's right.
Phil very much likes to have authority over people. This is the United States of Phil. You do not have freedom of speech here. I find it easy to manipulate people, or I don't like it when I find myself manipulating people. Phil finds it very easy to manipulate people. Fuck knows how. We do not understand because we, as detractors on the outside, again, will see it and go, how the fuck is he getting away with this? It's so blatant, the manipulation. Hint, hint, every time, you know, guys, there's this new piece of there's this new toy coming out that I want. There's a new console, there's a new add-on, there's a new game, there's a new special edition, there's a new Streamlab thing, there's a new Stream Deck. That's what I was going for. Stream Deck.
Valve has announced a new portable console called the Stream Deck.
I cannot. Stream Deck, every time he said it for like an hour, he said Stream Deck, not Steam Deck. So yeah, Phil finds it very easy to manipulate people. It comes naturally to him. By this point, he's had years of doing it. He's had decades of doing it. So by this point, he does find it very easy. And it again, just because it doesn't work on us doesn't mean it won't work on someone. I insist upon getting the respect that is due me, or I usually get the respect that I deserve. Now, this is a tricky one because both could be true from Phil's perspective. Phil could argue that, well, taking Phil's perspective, you could say that he usually gets it, but it's because he insists on it, you know.
Freedom Ghost Robo says he liked my my year-end countdowns, and he respects the fact that he doesn't agree with me. He really liked Doom Eternal, and I didn't. Perfectly fine. That's what it's all about, man. We don't always have to agree, as long as we respect each other's opinion, right? That's what it's all about.
Phil usually gets the respect he deserves because he doesn't go anywhere outside of his stream. And in his stream, he insists on it. You know, you have to give him the respect there, otherwise you get banned.
All right. Major Right, goodbye. I've had enough of you. I'm seriously had enough of your shit. Get him out of here. I'm tired of it. I'm trying to play a game and he's in here fucking talking shit again. Enough of this dude. Get the fuck out. I can't concentrate on a fucking game with an idiot fucking talking nonsense in my chat. I can't do it. Get the fuck out. Jesus, man. You fucking conspiracy theorists and nut jobs. I had enough of you. Gee, I wonder why I couldn't concentrate. We lost. I wonder why. There. Nose breaker. Jesus. Get rid of these idiots. We're going to have to weed these idiots out over the next week or so. Since they all want to come all at once now. Fucking morons.
So, this is a tricky one, this one. I'm not... I feel like if Phil went out more, if Phil socialized more, we wouldn't be here. If Phil socialized a bit more, it would be, I insist upon getting the respect that is due me. But because he's only really socializing with his stream 6 days a week, I feel like I usually get it, you know. Or does he? Because the amount of trolling that he gets, the amount of harassment that he gets, he might say, I don't get the respect I'm due. You know?
That's right. I am a streamer. I am a public figure. That is correct. Chef Excellence. I also have feelings. Alright? I have feelings like everyone else. Just because I'm on camera doesn't mean that I'm an unfeeling robot automaton. I have, you know, emotions. I'm sensitive just like everyone else. And I deserve respect. I don't get it, but I deserve it. So I've had enough. Enough of this nonsense.
I'm going to go with I usually get the respect I deserve. You may disagree. That's fine. In fact, tell me whereabouts in this whole thing that you disagree with. If you know, if you're playing along and you disagree. Let me know why. It'd be interesting to hear other people's reasons for picking different responses. But I'm going to go with I usually get the respect that I deserve. And I'm also going to... Yeah. If you chew any wires... You know, I will think of some punishment. It won't be nice. Because it'll be a punishment, obviously. Anyway. Which statement best matches you? I don't particularly like to show off my body, or I like to show off my body. Oh, I know which clip I'm going to use here.
Alright, how about the balls, huh? Yeah. Use the detailer to wash your balls. Yeah. To scrub the balls. Oh. I use the detailer inside to wash off. Oh my God. Oh. You don't want to use the detailer inside to wash your balls. Oh. Oh, that hurts. Ow.
I think we have to draw a distinction between Phil on stream and Phil wandering around his house alone at like 11:30 or 1:30 in the morning, full of gin, wearing just a bathrobe, passing by a full-length mirror. Because Phil made, well, it's probably been memory hold now. Phil made a lot of hoo-ha about his weightlifting and how when he was younger he used to be buff, you know, not buff bro buff, but how he used to be buff, you know. I'm gonna go with I don't particularly like to show off my body because I feel like his physical, especially now, more recently, he's been like, I'm nearly 40, I'm over the hill. Which, you know, as someone who's 2 years younger than you, fuck off, Phil.
Guys, I'm almost 40 years old. You realize that, right? I'm almost 40, right? So doing what I do, I got to take certain precautions. I got to do certain things. I started to notice things. Like I said, I start yawning on the stream. I'm not tired. I'm not bored. I need oxygen. So get up and move around. Move that body. Get that blood flowing, right? And then I feel better. I actually did this last night. I felt great. After I did, I sat down. I was like, now I'm pumped for the rest of the stream. Because I got the blood flowing. I don't feel like a slug now. You know? So that's what I got to do. I got, you know, we got these certain things that work. 40 is still young. That's completely false. 40 is considered over the hill.
Fuck off. But, you know, especially with some of his more recent medical issues, I feel like he probably doesn't like showing off his body. So I'm going to go with that. Which statement best matches you? I can read people like a book, or people are sometimes hard to understand. Given how, to a T, Phil's characterization of detractors is, I'm going to go with I can read people like a book.
You might say, well, Phil, why are you muting everyone? Well, number one, I don't have a microphone. So I can't talk to them anyway. I don't have a microphone on Xbox Series X right now. The other thing is, if I leave them unmuted, okay, here's what's going to happen. They're going to start talking or whatever. It'll be fine for 5 minutes. Then my trolls will message them and say, you have a streamer in your party, and he's a pedophile, and he's a child molester, and he's a criminal, and he's a scumbag, and he's this and he's that. And essentially they'll spam these people until these people start responding on mic, which then obviously derails everything, and then eventually, you know, they don't want to put up with that anymore. So they quit the game. So by me not doing that, it basically disables all of that, because they're not going to hear a response. So what's the point of doing it, right? They do this happen all the time. So that's why I'm not going to fucking have them unmuted. We're just going to play the game. All right.
He probably does believe that, though. He has to believe that. He convinces himself that's true, because he can't comprehend the alternative of people not liking him being normal people. So to him, everybody that's against him is a certain way, and he probably thinks, I can spot that a mile off. You know, I can pick apart any detractor argument because I know the logic where it's coming from. I can spot detractors in my chat because I know how they act. He probably thinks I can read people like a book.
I've only been doing this for 13 years. I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't need some dumbass to think that they know better than me. I know about online harassment, and I don't want these poor people to be harassed, you know, so I'm not going to fucking put up with that shit.
So I'm going to go with that one. If I feel competent, I am willing to take responsibility for making decisions, or I like to take responsibility for making decisions. Now, Phil would probably say, I take responsibility, you know.
I also want to make it clear that I operate this stream, not anyone else. I am solely responsible for what airs on this stream, not anyone else. That's why I try to retain complete control over the stream when it comes to the leaderboards and stuff, why I don't automate stuff, because I want to keep as much control over my streams as possible, keep it as clean as possible, and keep it as in line with what I want as a content creator, all right? It is not anyone's job, responsibility, nor should it be anyone's power to demand something of any other stream viewer, all right? So I want you to understand, if any stream viewer comes in here and says, oh, you should become a member, oh, you should tip, oh, you should do that, ignore them. That person has zero impact on the stream and has no authority to do so. If they become completely obnoxious to the point where they won't leave people alone about it, report them. Report them to a mod, report them to me, whatever you need to do. And I'll look into the situation. All right?
But I feel like the alternative is true here. I feel like Phil does not like to take responsibility for his decisions at all, with the amount of deflection that he does.
What happened with King Vanity was, people were absolutely goading him. It was done on purpose. There was a group of people last night who were newcomers to the stream. They were not regulars. They were not any people who were here normally. They came in particularly to try to fucking bother King Vanity, to get him to kind of lose his cool and say stuff that they wanted him to say so that they could get him in trouble. And I saw it happen, and I let it go at first, and then I kind of spoke up and I said, guys, you're derailing the stream. Please stop. Okay? And then after all that happened, by the end of the stream, these two idiots were still fucking doing it. And, you know, I have patience, but 2 hours of patience is a lot to ask. 2 fucking straight hours, you're going to keep this up and argue and shit. So I fucking banned them at the end of the stream, okay? Now, some people came into the stream in the middle of the stream, and they just saw King Vanity arguing with a group of people and thought that it was, like, legit. It wasn't. These were people who specifically came in here to try to derail the stream. I saw it happen myself. They literally came in here to try to get him in trouble. That was their agenda from the beginning.
even down to stuff like which game should be played in a marathon. It's always, you guys pick this game. Somebody told me, people were saying all that stuff for almost every decision that he makes. Phil does not like taking responsibility at all. So I feel like if I feel competent, I am willing. That means if other people are saying it's a good idea, if other people say that's a great choice for the stream, or, you know, that's an amazing pick for a vest, or, you know, that's a great idea for a marathon. If people are saying that, then he's like, yeah, I'll take responsibility for that. That was my decision. You know, I made a good call there. But if it's a bad decision, if it's, why are you playing this game? It's boring. It's, people told me they wanted me to keep playing this game. Or people told me this game was boring, so I've stopped.
I'm doing exactly what you guys have asked me to do. The last couple of weeks, you guys complained that I was too much doing the same stuff over and over. You wanted variety. You wanted me to play more stuff on the Xbox Series X. You wanted me to play stuff under Game Pass. And you wanted me to stop doing remakes and remasters. For example, Zelda, I completely dropped because you guys requested it. All right? Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was doing better playing Zelda than I am doing this variety stuff on Xbox Series X. My streams were doing better playing Zelda on a daily basis than this. I don't understand what happened. This is now roughly the third day in a row it's been like this. Yesterday we didn't hit the $100 tips goal. There was no vest on the Fallout stream. Last night we only had about $20 in tips, and all of a sudden someone did a $77 tip to end the night. But if it wasn't for that, it would have been a $20 stream. And now again, I don't know what's going on. And this is alarming because I need help to pay my friggin' mortgage this weekend. All right?
So I'm going with, if I feel competent, I'm willing to, rather than I like to take responsibility. Which statement best matches you? I just want to be reasonably happy, or I want to amount to something in the eyes of the world. When he's begging, Phil will say, I don't want to be rich. I don't want to live a glamorous life. I just want to be able to pay my bills and provide for my family.
For me, right now, I'm happy. Like, being very honest, if I could just stay the way that I am right now, if I could be with my family, living in this house, and do this, what I'm doing now, and I don't have to, I'm never looking to get rich. I'm never looking to have more than what I have. I just want to be happy with my family like this forever. If I could just stay where I am right now forever, I'd be good till I die. Seriously. I mean that. I'm not looking for anything more than what I got right now. I just want to keep what I got because I'm at a great level of happiness in my life now, personally.
However, the amount of importance, the amount of emphasis that Phil puts on his history, on his legacy, even acknowledging that he was, you know, with the Pro Jared tweet, with the one that was not the one that, I fell down the Pro Jared hole, the one before it, the one that was content creators. If you ever mess up, you know, you think you won't come back from it, I'm still here after this. Even acknowledging that doesn't impact on how Phil views his legacy. And so I feel like I want to amount to something in the eyes of the world is more akin to what Phil would pick. Well, no, Phil would just say, hey, I want to be reasonably happy, because he knows that the other makes him look like a twat. But he, again, that's just his ego. That's him being aware of, for want of a better word, the optics of picking the other choice. He knows that being humble is universally seen as much better than being arrogant. And he knows that, you know, again, he's used it before in begathons. He's used it to preface begging in his emergency streams and his pre-streams. It's, I just want to pay my bills. I don't want a rich life. I just want to be able to provide for my wife and my cat. And, you know, I can understand wanting to provide for a cat. Oh, I've just woken up. Yeah. Oh, sorry, did I annoy you? I'll leave you be. But that's not necessarily Phil's ulterior motive, is it? It's wanting to be recognized. It's wanting to be given respect. It's wanting to be seen like he has done something valid. And that is in the eyes of the world. It doesn't matter to Phil if people hate him, because he has a billion defense mechanisms to deal with that. But he wants to be recognized. He craves recognition. He craves the respect that recognition brings. He wants to be seen as better than his audience. He wants to be seen as something in the eyes of others. So he wants to amount to something in the eyes of the world. Which statement best matches you? My body is nothing special and I like to look at my body. Again. Just because on stream he's playing it down doesn't mean that when he's alone at night, walking past the mirror or getting out of the shower or whatever, you know.
Big Bane did a super chat and said, I'll give you $200 to do 25 push-ups non-stop. Okay, ready? Here we go. Okay, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 25. Here we go. All right. Whew. I did 25 real push-ups on my floor. I actually did do them, but there's no way you could see it because I can't aim the camera to look over there. But I actually just did do 25 push-ups. Whew. I did them real fast. I shouldn't have done them that fast. I should have taken my time. Okay. So you better send the $200.
But I do feel like one of the ways that you break delusion is, well, one of the possible ways of breaking delusion is a short, sharp shock to the system. And the reality of getting older is constantly providing that to him. So, actually, I suppose, given the history of his back as well, he's probably had a long time to sort of desensitize that aspect of narcissism. He's not really someone who's arrogant about his looks and his physical stature, you know. He's insecure about it, yeah, but he's not arrogant about it to the point where he, you know, I suppose most of the shirts he has nowadays are tight-fitting, but he wouldn't deliberately wear tight-fitting, you know, form-revealing clothing. He wouldn't play up his, for want of a better word, exercise regime on stream. He generally downplays stuff like this, and I tend to feel like he's actually being legit here because it's been consistent. He's not somebody who's ever really bragged to the same extent as someone like, say, Vegan Gains would, you know. So I feel like he would go for my body's nothing special. I feel like he would be truthful there. Let me know if you disagree, because I'm interested. I mean, I can see why you would, because again, like I said, we're only seeing Phil's portrayal of what Phil is. We only see the things that Phil wants us to see.
People think that like I can't do push-ups or something for some reason. I don't know why. I just did it easily. But the problem is like there's no way I can adjust my camera and everything to even turn that way because of the cords and everything.
And his narrative is at the moment, I'm not physically fit. I'm getting older.
40 is still young. That's completely false. 40 is considered over the hill. What that means is that essentially when you're 40, you've lived half your life. And now you're heading into the second half of life, which isn't as good as the first half from what everyone says.
And we know not to trust Phil's narrative, so, you know, he may be giving it all out when he's out of the bath and, you know, falling in love with his reflection in the mirror as the steam dries. Anyway, which statement best matches you? I try not to be a show-off, or I will usually show off if I get the chance. Fuck. Again, Phil would probably say I try not to be a show-off, but I feel like there's a weight of evidence. I feel like his recent activity in COD especially, if he gets the drop on you in Call of Duty, or if he gets the opportunity to get like a sneaky kill or he'll go for it, you know. I'm going to go with I will usually show off if given a chance, because just how he plays games and how he... See, I don't think of him as not a show-off. I feel like if he gets a good read, if he feels like he's got a good read on you in Street Fighter, he will try to punish it. You know, he will try to punish it with a flashy move. He will try to show off against you.
Oops. Don't spam Tatsu. I baited the wake up Shoryuken because he did it a million times. I figured he was gonna do it again, so I baited it and punished it. All right. So Street Fighter 5 just as ass as it always was.
So, yeah, I'm gonna go with I will usually show off. I always know what I am doing, or sometimes I am not sure of what I'm doing. Well, what do I do? the amount of time, especially because the last Dark Dave Mirror that I watched was Flight Simulator. That's the most recent one. Let's date this. The amount of times that I heard, what am I doing in that fucking stream?
Fundamentals every pilot needs to know before hitting the skies.
Okay, let's go.
This is your plane. A
Look at this.
classic.
This is a rudder.
The Cessna 152.
What do I do?
Take a look around it. In the simulator, anytime you want, you can easily
What do
switch
I
to cursor
do?
mode.
What do I do? I'm gonna be honest, that frame rate is kind of jarring. I knew the game only ran at 30 frames per second.
What do I do?
Because apparently the game has an incredible amount of detail when you start flying. But that's it's kind of weird.
What do I
isn't it?
do?
Like, it looks a little choppy to me.
What
I
do
guess
I
we'll see
do?
once you start flying if it gets better.
What
or
do
not,
I
right?
do?
So our
What
triggers
do
are
I
the rudder.
do?
I see that much.
What do I do?
Bumpers don't do jack.
What do I do?
Oh, here you go. Your elevation. So you go up
What do
or
I
down
do?
with the left
What do I
thumbstick is
do?
up or down, and the trigger. What happened? The guy disappeared. Did you see that?
What do I do?
There was a man on a cart.
What do I do? What do I do?
Well, I guess we won't talk about that. I think
What
he
do
got
I
sucked into
do?
a black hole or something.
What's
He's
in the
gone.
box? What's in the
Look, now
box?
there's a man over there. He wasn't there
What do
before.
I do?
What is going on?
What do I do?
All right,
what
this
do
is
I
weird
do?
stuff, man. Anyway,
What
so
do I do?
okay, left and right on the rudder there, triggers, up and down, so you go up or
What do
down
I
with
do?
the left thumbstick. Camera's
What
obviously
do
right
I
thumbstick.
do?
I don't know any idea what the buttons. Oh shit! What did I just do?
Phil would go with I always know what I'm doing. Phil would go with I always know what I'm doing. This is a man who does not budget to the point where he doesn't know when bills are coming in and he doesn't know what his monthly outgoings are. And that's the most charitable interpretation that you can give of his statements that he's made recently. But I feel like he would go with I always know what I'm doing because it implies that he's an adult and he's got, you know, his shit in order. But he is not sure of what he's doing most of the time. I sometimes depend on people to get things done, or I rarely depend on anyone else to get things done. Now, again, the flight simulator, the amount of times he has chat to do something. Legend of Zelda he's been playing recently, Skyward Sword. He stopped and asked chat what to do. Divinity 2, Original Sin. The amount of times he'd stop to ask chat. He depends on people a lot. Papa Vera provided his own custom written fucking guides to Minecraft so that Phil knew what to do.
I wouldn't go higher than say like $100 in the modern day. Oh no, Papa Vera. Oh fucking shit.
Phil would say, I rarely depend on anyone else to get things done. And I feel like it should actually be I sometimes depend on people to get things done. But we are answering from Phil at this point, so I'm going to... That's a point, actually. Actually, am I second guessing myself now? Because now I'm thinking about all the other answers I've given so far. Right, let me... right. Right, Phil, I sometimes depend on people to get things done. Phil would say I rarely depend on anyone else to get things done. I'm going with that. Fuck. I'm second guessing myself now. Let's not. I'm going to be here all night. Let's not. Let's not second guess myself. No, let's. Here is I'm going to quickly edit this in a bit. Here is a comprehensive rundown of all the ones that I'm going to redo. I always know what I am doing. I have changed that one. I rarely depend on anyone else to get things done. I've changed that one. That's still I rarely depend on anyone. Which statement best matches you? Sometimes I tell good stories that everybody likes to hear my stories. He will believe that. He will believe that. He tells a story about fucking everything. We all know it. Everybody likes to hear it. He's going to believe that. Which statement best matches you? I expect a great deal from other people, or I like to do things for other people. I expect a great deal from other people. If you can get an Xbox on the cheap, that's a great deal from other people. Quite proud of that one. I shouldn't be proud of it, but I am. Right. I expect a great deal from other people. Which statement best matches you? I will never be satisfied until I get all that I deserve, or I take my satisfactions as they come. Now we know that Phil will never be satisfied, but would Phil answer that way? Because I take my satisfactions as they come could be Phil would argue that he's grateful for every tip, even the pittance ones.
The super chats are great. The super chats, thank you guys. But the super chats don't help me now. They help me in a month and a half. I need help now, not a month and a half. I keep saying this, but people don't listen and they keep doing the super chat. It's fine. I like that. I appreciate it, but it doesn't help me in the short term. I have to do what I have to do what I need to do to pay my bills. So I literally cannot play this as a day stream. I want to. I would love to. What I was going to do is this Tuesday, I was going to flip the streams. It was actually going to be, this was going to be the main stream, and we were going to do the trial, and then the late stream was going to be Mass Effect 3. Okay? But what am I going to do? I got to go with what's going to pay my bills, and this isn't doing it. Patriarchy doing a $50 tip and getting a few pittance dollar tips here or there.
Which, by the way, every time I hear that, I think of that Diesel promo that OSW have made a meme.
Oh yeah, I got this. What a pittance.
I will never be satisfied because Phil will never be satisfied.
Oh yeah, I got
Patriarchy doing a $50 tip.
What a pittance.
Compliments embarrass me, or I like to be complimented.
Keep going as long as you can. Above all else, be sure that at the end of the day that you're happy. Love and appreciate you, man. Take care. And the reason that I read that to you guys is because I just want you guys to understand that means the world to me when I get a message like that. Like, it's been tough. You know, my life has been tough over the last decade. It has. And when I read a message like that, I'm sorry that I'm tearing up like a baby. But when I read a message like that, it makes me feel like it was worth it, you know?
I don't think Phil would play humble here. I think he would like to. I mean, he would probably argue that it's a basic human impulse. And again, it is. Again, it's the degree of manifestation of this trait that determines where not even where about, because this isn't a diagnostic tool. This is the degree of the manifestation of this trait is what determines whether or not it's likely to be considered part of a narcissistic, part of the manifestation of a narcissistic personality disorder. It's not a. This isn't a diagnosis. You know, it's not a diagnostic tool. Anyway, yeah. Just because you like to be complimented doesn't mean you're a narcissist. I have a strong will to power, or power for its own sake doesn't interest me. Would Phil argue? Phil would be playing humble and would argue that power for its own sake doesn't interest me. However, we know that I have a strong will to power is Phil likes power. It's the United States of Phil. It's his chat. He rules it with an iron fist. I have a strong will to power.
One other thing I'm going to say, all right? It needs to be officially said and stated publicly, and I'm laying down the law as of today. People need to stop talking about trolls. People need to stop focusing on trolls in their content. People just need to keep it out of my stream chat. Because in the last couple of weeks, I'm getting so many complaints now that every day people are getting into arguments about it. Why are people talking about trolls? Why are people bringing this up? Why are people derailing the stream? Why are there one or two stream chatters who get into arguments with everyone else all the time? And we can't concentrate on your stream content. We can't even talk about the games because we come in and everyone's arguing. And I agree with you. I don't want that crap. It's always been against the rules to bring up trolls and their troll content. It's always been against the rules. It's not something new. It's just that we've been very lax, especially with my transition moving from Twitch over to YouTube. I've been very lenient with things like this because I want to encourage people to come in here and feel good and say, oh, it's a new venue. I want to get used to it. But I can't just have people completely derailing streams every day anymore. Okay? So you see someone who keeps talking about trolls in their content. You see someone who keeps bringing up things like that. They're going to get moderated and kicked out, and I've had enough. And there's going to be a no exceptions policy to this. You have to abide by the rules, and I can't have people coming and complaining to me about it.
I don't care about new fads and fashions, or I like to start new fads and fashions. Well, we know how Phil feels about amiibos.
Spartan King says, do you think the Nintendo Switch has saved Nintendo? Sony and Microsoft are obviously not dependent on their video game sales to stay afloat, but Nintendo more or less is. The Wii became obsolete and they lack good third-party titles. I mean, yeah, Nintendo did horribly during that Wii U era. No lie. And I said this a few times and people were like, oh, Phil's exaggerating. No, this is not an exaggeration. It was amiibo sales that were actually keeping the company afloat for like a year to two there, when no one was buying anything for the Wii U. The Wii U was one of Nintendo's biggest failures in the company's history. No one liked the console. No one wanted to play games on the gamepad. No one cared about the stupid gimmicks. They thought it was a piece of shit that was monstrously underpowered. Game devs weren't making games for the thing. They had basically abandoned the console. So Nintendo needed a way to make money, but wasn't ready to jump to a new console yet. And they panicked and they made collectible figurines. And it worked. Because their fan base is so rabid for anything Nintendo that they ran out and said, I gotta collect them all. So instead of spending, in a year, instead of spending, money on 10 high-profile Nintendo games that made Nintendo money, they went out and bought 100 amiibos each that cost, $20 or whatever. What were they? Between 10, 20 bucks. The rare ones cost, would sell for sometimes hundreds of dollars. And Nintendo made an insane amount of money on stupid-ass amiibos. And it actually saved the company. As dumb as that sounds, it's truth. It's just like, wow.
So, I'm going to go with I don't care. I feel like as a narcissist, you'd probably be like, why would you care about that when you could care about me? So, yeah, that's probably why he doesn't. Which statement best matches you? I like to look at myself in the mirror, or I'm not particularly interested in looking at myself in the mirror. Again, I feel like Phil doesn't exaggerate this area of narcissism. He doesn't. You only need to match so many. You don't need to match all the displays of narcissism. You don't need to match like all 9 criteria. You can match at least 5. So I feel like this is one that Phil doesn't. He's not very physically ego orientated, So again, I'm not particularly interested in looking at myself in the mirror. I really like to be the center of attention, or it makes me uncomfortable to be the center of attention. Again, it's his stream. It's a stream. You're there for him. He gets mad when you're not talking about him. So I really like to be the center of attention. You might have noticed that some of these are quite similar and sounding. So, some questions are double blind. They're ways to, when you're doing a psychological survey like this, you will sometimes reverse word questions as well, and it's a way to sort of it's not self-correcting, it's just it's a way to measure validity and consistency. It's just to make sure that nobody's going down it measured like all A's instead of all bees, you know. It's a way to sort of like catch on to stuff like that. It's because if you answer a question one way and then it's reworded slightly differently and you still answer it that way, it sort of like makes you go, you know, are you taking this seriously? Or can we eliminate those two questions because you've answered them differently? Whereas if you answer it, you know, separate ways, if you answer, it's difficult to think up. I'd say, which is your favourite soft drink? I like Coke and I like Pepsi. You know, and you pick I like Coke. And then, which is your least favourite soft drink? Later on in the survey, there's a least favourite soft drink, and you go, I don't like Coke and I don't like Pepsi. You know, if you answer I like Coke and then I don't like Coke, then obviously it throws the ecological validity of your survey into doubt. So, because you're not remaining internally consistent throughout the survey. So, yeah, it's a self-correcting mechanism built into psychological surveys. So they're always fun to do in the first year as well. You have fun picking out the questions and then going, right, I'll trip you up with this one, you bastard. Which statement best matches you? I can live my life in any way I want to, or people can't always live their lives in terms of what they want. I feel like Phil is now at the point where he's like, I can live my life this way. There will always be somebody to come and give me $200 a day. Twice a day.
Oh, I didn't hit the tips goal. You noticed that, huh, Jake? That's what I was telling your mate crate. Like, we're not even coming close. I knew it too, because this happened last time too. And the only reason we even raised $50 last time was because the only guy's coffee was here and he dropped a big ass tip. So this game is like dead, absolutely dead. That's why I'm trying to finish it, and it will finish on Thursday. So I can live my life in any way I want.
Being an authority doesn't mean that much to me, or people always seem to recognize my authority. Well, again, it's his stream. It's his chat. You talk about things that he says you can talk about. If you don't talk about things that he says you can talk about. If you talk about other things. If you talk about things that aren't him, things that aren't prescribed by him, then...
And by the way, every single person derailing the chat right now is going to get banned, and I mean it. Here I am. I was like, okay, I said my piece about yesterday. Let's talk about other stuff. Everyone in the chat now, finances, finances, finances. No, it's going to be ban, 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 so I don't have to put up with your bullshit today.
So, also because I've shaved before, I'm still a bit edgy. People always seem to recognize my authority because I ban the ones that don't.
I'm not going to derail my fucking stream with this nonsense all day like these idiots tried to do yesterday during the marathon. So enjoy your ban, ban, ban. You're going to get it.
I prefer to be a leader, or it makes little difference to me whether I am a leader or not. Again, it's his stream. He leads the hate army.
Here we are. I'm playing a game. It's a really tense moment. It's a tense fight. Let's go. Oh, wait a minute. I got a new sub. Pause the game. Here comes a pop-up on the fucking screen. Thanks to Jubbity Bubbity for joining the hate army. You're great. Blah, blah, blah. No, not going to do that.
So yeah, we'll go with I prefer to be a leader because obviously he does. Which statement best matches you? I am going to be a great person, or I hope I am going to be successful.
I would rather be with a company that's not going to respond at all than a company that's going to basically talk down to you and treat you like a kid. I can't contact someone who's helped me dozens of times in the past couple of years with issues like this. You're going to yell at me and talk down to me like a child? Go fuck yourself. Yeah, I'm an adult. Sorry, I'm the one who operated a successful YouTube channel. Me. I'm the one who puts out the content that's entertaining and has a fan base. Me. I'm the one. Not you. You're the company that just took a cut of ad revenue and protected me from copyright issues. It's not some grandiose thing where you're better than me or you know better than me. I'm the one who put the content on YouTube. All the content creators of YouTube are the ones who made the site successful. Not the partnership companies, not Google or YouTube itself. The content creators. We're the ones who should be treated with fucking respect.
You could argue that he wants to be a great person as well. You could. But I'm going with I hope. I'm going to be successful because he's so financially driven. And it's how he defines success. You know, he's got the trappings of adulthood. He's got a mortgage. He's got a house. He's got a wife. You know, even as a child. But by our definitions, begging people for tips twice a day isn't success. But by other metrics as well, it's over 100 grand a year. Was it 109? That's, I can't remember where I saw it. I think it was on Twitter, and I can't remember the tweet. Somebody shared a graph of median income across black demographics, and Phil earns more than 98% of all black people in America. I'm going to try and find it. I promise you it's out there. I'm going to try and find it and edit it in, but I promise you I saw this. Hey, sorry to interrupt, but while I was editing this, I went to try and find the tweet in question, and I just couldn't find it at all. I looked through months of likes and retweets, and I just couldn't remember where I'd seen it. Couldn't remember who'd retweeted it. It's completely beyond my Google foo skills. So I ended up spending a bit of time reading about median black wage levels, and generally, you know, seeing how many the percentage of black people in America that earned over $100,000, and I've seen numbers between 10 and 20%. I think I'm more likely to lean towards 10%. Seems to be the more regular. Like, extremes were about between 5 and 8, and the other extremes were around 20. So I'm comfortable saying that DSP earns more than like 90% of all black people in America, because he earns more than $100,000, and I figured that was a decent baseline. So yeah, DSP earns more than about 90% of black people in America, and he's still doing marathons because you should be giving him more. But anyway, yeah, sorry about that. Back to the video, because I went looking at the graph specifically because I thought, I wonder where Phil fits in all this. And it's over 98% of black people. So the average ages across a bunch of demographics. Oh, and I was like, fuck. It's really grim to be black in America. It's really fucked up. But like, not only do you have to face systemic racism and the threat of the people who are sworn to protect you literally killing you for no reason other than the colour of your skin, but this dickhead here, not me, this one, he earns more than 98% of you. Fuck. Right, let's get back to this. People sometimes believe what I tell them, or I can make anybody believe anything I want them to.
Threw his fiancée under the bus and turned her private medical issue into a drama strain. Didn't happen. Demanded she never go to a hospital again, instead that they give her a pill and leave her where they found her. Didn't happen. Lied about money issues for a year. Non-stop begging for cash while flying a girl out to see him. Didn't happen. Used tax donations to move the woman in with him. Didn't happen. Used tax donations to marry the woman. Didn't happen. Stole fan donations that went towards the Project 7 reboot. Didn't happen. Refused to pay friends for the work they did. Only used to make money, and you only used them to make money and make more off of dead friends until he lost them all. Didn't happen. Wants to hit an 11-year-old girl. Didn't happen. Groomed 2 fangirls and used them for sex and extra money. Oh. Didn't happen. But the one that I really didn't say yet. This is the one that gets me the most. Everyone's a paid shill tweet. Okay? Apparently, last year I put out a tweet that said everyone's a paid shill. That's not what happened.
Now, we know, given that we don't believe him, that people don't always believe what he tells them. Some people do. But that's not people sometimes. Phil will probably believe that I can make anybody believe anything. Because he can. Well, to him anyway. He can make people believe anything. He has done. He's made people believe in the worth and value of 13 years of being paid to play games for a living.
We'll start with gameplay. Do gameplay for like an hour. Then, okay, want to go to vlogging, go do some Cooking with the King or DSP Tries It, all right? Then go back to some gameplay. Then go do some travel vlogs, you know? There's so much stuff to draw upon. And that's the great thing about me and my legacy on YouTube and on the internet is that I've done this for over 10 years and I've done so much content at this point that there's so much stuff to draw upon and enjoy.
Not that that's not an illegitimate career. Not that people who play games and all that, you know. I'm a nerd as well. That was my dream growing up, and my parents told me nobody would ever pay me to play Nintendo. But you know what I mean. I'm going to go with I can make anybody believe anything, because Phil probably does think that. I'm a born leader, or leadership is a quality that takes a long time to develop. Phil will probably think that he's born leader. He probably doesn't think that he developed the ability to corral an army, you know, to have a group of people like that. He probably thinks that it's natural and innate to him. It's not something that he ever had to consciously work on, because for a start, Phil doesn't like consciously working on anything. Anything that requires effort is anathema to him. But he does still have this ability to be a leader of sorts. So it's, to him, a natural skill. It's innate. He's born with it. So I am a born leader. You stop pressing that so hard. I'm shaking the desk and I might break my tablet. I wish somebody would someday write my biography, or I don't like people to pry my life for any reason.
And I knew that if I gave any information that, number one, I was getting married, or number two, the specifics of where I was going to be on what day, that there was potential that people could do this fucking stuff to me, right? Can you imagine? Oh yeah, today we're going to the zoo. And then we go to the zoo and the police show up because someone swatted the zoo. You know what I mean? Like, that was a genuine... For anyone else on the planet Earth, that's like silly. That's ridiculous. That's silly, Phil. For me, that's actually a genuine concern.
This is actually quite a tricky one. Phil is obviously, as a person who has suffered from trolling, and you know, he's been doxxed, he's been swatted, all that stuff. He's probably going to pick that one, and I can't, you know, he also has the ego to think that his life has worth and the experience that he's had have some sort of value. So this is I feel like the Phil that's been trolled would win out more than that ego in this case. I feel like I don't like people to pry into my life. I can't bring myself to do it. I can't bring myself to press it. Because he came fourth in Evo in 2004. He was the top ranked US Super Turbo player for that year. He's got a trophy from a Tekken tournament in a mall somewhere. I mean, those are big achievements. Those are world-changing achievements. That's the sort of thing that demands a biography. I want to say I wish somebody would someday write my biography. I feel like him saying I don't want people to pry my life is not his natural response. It's the result of the years of being doxxed and trolled, and his fear of that drives that. I feel like deep down personally he does feel more of somebody should write a biography about me. And so yeah, I'm going for I wish somebody would someday write my biography. I get upset when people don't notice how I look when I go out in public, or I don't like blending into the crowd when I go out in public. Again, he's not someone who's taking great pride in his appearance, you know. So, but again, that's not necessarily wallflower behavior in the way that I don't mind blending into the crowd implies. I feel like you can become the center of attention through means other than how you are dressed.
Where am I playing? You still haven't told me.
So I'm going to go with that. But I don't mind blending into the crowd. Purely on the fact that it's physical appearance based, and again, I just don't feel that Phil is narcissistic physically. He's never been one to brag about that sort of thing. So I am more capable than other people, or there is a lot I can learn from other people. Phil probably thinks he's more capable.
Literally 2 months before they laid me off, they gave me a commendation for going above and beyond the call of duty at my job. I have it on my wall at home so I can laugh at it, because it just shows that the corporate America is such a joke and the economy is so bad that no one is safe.
From everything I was being told by my management, I had job security. I was doing a great job. I actually got a fucking a commendation, an actual plaque for going above and beyond the call of duty. Right before I got laid off, 2 months before I got laid off, I got this plaque. Unreal, right? So I did it, did a great job, got a commendation certificate for going above and beyond. Then they restructured the company and said, well, we don't need anyone who has that skill anymore, and then they laid me off. Isn't that nice? And it took like 6+ months of work. I was working with the IT department, the logistics department, the repairs department. We redo the whole process. I get a commendation certificate saying, wow, you went above and beyond the call of duty because you're just a customer service rep, but you did all this work for us, and we appreciate it. And then they laid me off. So that's a fine how do you fucking do, isn't it? But, like I said, they fell apart at the seams anyway, so what can you do, right? Sambuca Shoot again, he said, I got a bonus for my employer. I might also be losing my job. It's a crazy time. You got a bonus, but you might lose your job. Isn't that kind of like... That's just like me. I got a commendation. I actually got a big commendation at my job. A big special, certificate that said you went above and beyond, and then 2 months later they laid me off. Fucking idiots.
Phil probably thinks he's more capable than other people, so yeah. I mean, if there was a lot that he could learn from other people, he would have learnt it. He wouldn't be so defensive and aggressive and dismissive of constructive advice. I said constructive, not constructed. Constructive criticism and constructive advice. So, yeah, I'm more capable than other people. And which statement best matches you? I am much like everybody else, or I am an extraordinary person. Phil is an extraordinary person in every sense of the word, and he probably believes that too. So, again, he would argue publicly, I'm just like everybody else. I'm just like you. I'm just like the Commodore Garden gamer. I'm just a guy who plays games. I'm nothing special. But internally, deep down inside, because narcissists fucking lie, he believes he's an extraordinary person. Disclaimer before I press get results. This quiz is for entertainment purposes only. In no way is this an empirically validated test. The concepts presented aren't rooted in any known research. It's like when they bring out the lie detector test on Jeremy Kyle or Maury, and the thing flashes up at the bottom that says, this is not actually valid in a court of law, because this fucking thing is not actually a way to measure and determine lies. I should talk about the polygraph at some point, because it does come up in psychology, especially forensic psychology. It comes up a bit in that. Basically, the TLDR is it's good for measuring things, because it's called a polygraph, so you can measure more than one thing. It's good at that, but any idea that that's any indication of deception is completely down to the biases of the person reading the test. So, yeah. Let's get our results. Between 12 and 15 is average. Celebrities often score closer to 18. Narcissists score over 20. What did we score? I can do maths even when I'm stoned. 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 5 is 17, 21, 26, 31. 31, score of 18 or higher. Narcissist score over 20, 31. Fuck, no way. Okay, so. Scoring for authority, 8. You score particularly high on authority, suggesting you see yourself as a leader or someone who values power. Scoring for self-sufficiency, 4. You score particularly high in self-sufficiency, suggesting you are highly self-sufficient. Well, yeah, when other people give you money, yeah. You scored particularly high in superiority, 5, suggesting you feel you are superior to most others. 4, for exhibitionism, you scored particularly high in exhibitionism, suggesting you have a higher need than most to be the centre of attention in any group or gathering. Scoring for exploitativeness, 5, you scored particularly high in exploitativeness, suggesting you don't mind exploiting others in order to meet your own needs or goals. Scoring for entitlement, 5, you scored particularly high on entitlement, suggesting that you may have a higher sense of entitlement than most people. Fuck. Oh, that's amazing. And again, I cannot make a claim to diagnose Phil at this point. That's not an indication. That's just my interpretation of how DSP, truthfully, I tried to get as many, Phil would lie about this, but he would actually. So I tried to get that as honest and as accurate as I could, given just, Phil's recorded history. That's not a diagnosis. That doesn't mean DSP is a narcissist. It just means that a lot of the times, a lot of the things Phil does are the same traits that you would find in a description of narcissistic personality disorder. So I may have shot my career in the foot here with this one. This isn't a diagnosis. In fact, I'm not qualified to give a medical diagnosis anyway. I'm a psychologist, not a psychiatrist. So I'm not the sort of person who could give a qualified medical diagnosis. I couldn't prescribe anything for him anyway. So, yeah. But still, when you go to a psychcentral.com personality quiz for narcissism and you fill in the results as best you feel is appropriate given the statements made by DarksydePhil, you get a score over 30. So, I think somebody did Amber Lynn's, and they found that it was, I think, was it 33 or 35? It was higher than Phil's for Amber Lynn's. So
now I'm gonna press score my narcissism quiz now. Okay, it says my total is 13. Narcissist score over 20. I'm not a narcissist. Okay, that makes me feel so good.
Well, that was fun. I'm slowly joking to death. That was a fun afternoon, wasn't it, kids? Yeah. I will look at more stuff in future. This is just a bit of, I don't want to call it filler because I've quite enjoyed doing this. I'm not gonna lie, but I want to do a couple more deep dives into things, and there's a lot more to examine with Phil. I'm looking forward to the Wolverine story. I'm looking forward to his childhood. I'm looking forward to talking about Kat and Leanna. I'm looking forward to talking about his group and how he sees them, his group from his perspective. So there are other things, and obviously, if and when other things come up with Phil, it might be worth doing a dive into them as well. I want to do the debunk stream. I really want to do the debunk stream. That's a good one. But yeah, that was something that I'd thought about doing for a while, because somebody mentioned doing an IQ test, and I don't know how difficult it would be. I'm assuming it would be quite difficult to sort of reverse engineer an IQ test this way. I suppose I could go back through a bunch of puzzle games and see how he handles like logic puzzles and perception puzzles and things like that. But again, that would be really inaccurate. That would be, it would be so difficult, because at least with the personality stuff, you've got statements and you've got interactions with people where he shows a side of his attitude, where he shows you his personality, so you can sort of infer to a better degree from that. But again, this isn't a diagnostic tool. This isn't how you would normally assess narcissism anyway. You would do it face to face with someone, you have an interview with them as well. You would not just do it by going to Psych Central and then having them do a multiple choice quiz. So this isn't a sort of diagnosis in any way, shape or form. This isn't a professional opinion. This is just an informed detractor's view of a Psych Central quiz, which is not medically cleared and it's not a diagnostic tool, and I suppose, you know, only technically I am. I'm a diagnostic tool. Oh, it's you, Nige, just in case you're ever watching these. In case you're ever wondering why I'm still going on about that bloke that I kept going on about when I was sat next to you at work. Why are you watching him? He's just bad at games. So, yeah. Yeah, that was quite fun, actually. Thanks for watching, everybody. And I'll see you all later, I guess. I don't know when, but, you know, hopefully soon. Take care. Bye-bye. I was going to ask you if she had anything to say, if she wanted to say goodbye, but she's asleep at the moment, so I'm just going to leave her be. Yeah, I've already woken up before. It's already... It's too cruel. Let sleeping cats lie. In bed with Jim. So it's the day after I filmed it and I've just realised that I forgot to do this.